Hello, if you are in the mood for something sweet, then you have found the right spot. I'm Philly and welcome to my kitchen. And today we are making what I hope to be the ultimate ooey-gooey cinnamon rolls. So welcome aboard. It's gonna be some content with mostly cinnamon roll focus, but there'll be a little bit of bonus content sprinkled in that I hope you will enjoy. So welcome to my stream. And let me tell you a little bit about the cinnamon roll. Now, as we're speaking, I believe I did put the link down below. Always check below with my live streams to see the information that we're talking about, whether it is a certain content creator that I'm going to be doing a recipe from, or if it's my own personal content. I try to give detailed information below in the description. So if you're not familiar with that, description for a lot of the videos or live streams here on YouTube have a wealth of information oftentimes. So make sure you check it out. Also, if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I feel like that's what I've been doing with recipes for years now, is sharing recipes with my family and friends. And that we can do now online by sharing different videos and such. So let me tell you a little bit about a recipe today. A few months ago, I made my grandma's iconic pecan rolls for the first time. And if you are interested in that video, by the way, it is linked below because in it has the recipe for the dough part. And that was the thing that kind of got my mind thinking already at that moment about cinnamon rolls and making them into cinnamon rolls. So check out the link below. It's not a live stream. It's a shorter content with a video, so to speak, of start to finish making the pecan rolls. And if you were looking for that dough for the cinnamon rolls we're making today, you would just want to check it out, get the information in the description, and look at the first part of the video where I discuss actually making the dough. When I made that dough in particular makes two recipes, so to speak, and I only made one of them. Now, my grandma used this round cake pan. This is a 9-inch to serve her pecan rolls, and so that's how I'm going to be serving my cinnamon rolls. You can absolutely adjust this, and you can use the whole recipe and use it in a typical 9x13 pan. You could absolutely do that, but I actually love the idea of making the cinnamon rolls in here for a couple of reasons. One, sometimes we don't really want a whole 9x13 pan of cinnamon rolls, or is it 9x18? Oh my gosh. Anyways, whatever it is, you know what I mean, the typical size. See, this is the kind of stuff I get in my head about when I'm on these live streams. But in any event, oh, hey, Barbara, how are you? Happy Sunday, and welcome to my stream. And I was just talking about the pan that I use. And so what I kind of like is, we have Valentine's Day coming up, and honestly, there's lots of times that we want to give something sweet to people that we care about. And in a round pan, I think that actually makes it perfect in gift giving. Like, there's something that's kind of, I don't know, it just looks a little more dressed up. So I'm really excited to make them in a round pan, but certainly you could just use the whole recipe and use the larger pan. But that's what we're going to use today. Happy Sunday indeed. Do you like cinnamon rolls, Barbara? And anyone else watching, by the way, feel free to pop into the chat to say hi. You don't have to. Certainly you can just watch from the wings, but I just want you to know that you're always welcome to say hello. And if you're not comfortable, that's totally fine. I do appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching. So when I made this dough for my grandma's pecan rolls, I kept half of it and put it in the freezer. So this dough I let defrost in the refrigerator, and then I took it out, I don't know, about 45 minutes ago, just so it come to room temperature. And so we already have the dough part made. If you are interested again in seeing how the dough is made, please click on the link below, check out my video. It has the recipe in the description, plus it shows you the how-to steps. It's not hard. I found this an incredibly easy dough to work with. Highly recommend this dough. But better yet, this dough, when we were eating the pecan rolls, it reminded me of how amazing the dough was. When I had this years ago as a young child, you know, I don't think I fully understood how incredible the dough was, because it was just something sweet in the pecan rolls, and I was like so excited, right? And as I grew older, and I love pecan rolls, but I also love cinnamon rolls, I realized that the components of any of those sweet treats is as important as the whole, and it contributes to the entire experience. So what I'm hoping to do is marry my grandma's dough with another creator's recipe that he, says makes very ooey-gooey cinnamon rolls, and make the ultimate cinnamon rolls. Now, in doing that, I will tell you, I did a lot of research looking at lots of creators, claims to making the ooeyest-gooeyest cinnamon rolls. And what I found across the board with most of them is to make sure that you use softened butter. Do not melt the butter. And of course, all of us know not to use the hard butter because that would be really nearly impossible, but to use melted. And I will say, if I recall, when I made the pecan rolls, I think I melted the butter. So even in doing my pecan rolls, I would do that differently now. So first thing we're going to do is we are going to get this dough rolled out. So, and I believe I'm rolling it out into, I think it was like about a 12-inch rectangle. So that's what I'm going to do now. So let me wash my hands so that I can make sure that everything is super clean. I thought this would be a great recipe to do right now because, well, for a couple of reasons. One, all of us know that in a few hours, which actually I mean many hours, it'll be the Super Bowl. And a lot of people are having parties. They might even be at a party already, enjoying lots of different foods. But there's always a place for sweet stuff, right? But beyond that, we have Valentine's Day coming up on the 14th, which is on Wednesday. So this would also be a great thing to make for someone you love. So, hey Archie, how are you? It is where the ooey-gooey cinnamon rolls are going to be coming. By the way, I already preheated my oven. The oven temperature is going to be 375, but since I'm using my convection, since I have it, I lowered it to 350, which is the standard that you do for convection baking. So as I mentioned, I have this dough from when I made my grandma's pecan rolls. Now it's going to stick a bit. Oh, in fact, I want to, speaking of which, before I put the sticky dough out, I want to put a little bit of flour on my board. The other thing I'm going to be doing for the first time that I've been seeing for years and kept, I don't know if it was that I was resisting it or that I was just lazy, was I noticed everyone that makes, or not everyone, so many people that make cinnamon rolls or pecan rolls that they highly recommend using unwaxed, unflavored dental floss to cut them. And if you recall, if anyone watched my video, I had a little bit of difficulty cutting them. It was fine. At the end of the day, it all worked out. But I thought, I am definitely going to use that this time. So is that what you guys use? Do you make cinnamon rolls? And hey, Eugenia, how are you? Good to see you, my friend. So I would love to know with who's joining us, what's your experience with cinnamon rolls? And maybe you don't make the cinnamon, maybe you make sticky ones or whatever. So I'm just putting some of my flour here. I don't want to use too much flour. I think you always need to be careful when using flour with dough because too much flour can kind of toughen. I'm also going to take my rings off, so let me go do that. Good to see all my foodie friends. And once I roll this, I'm going to be bringing my camera around here. But let me just get at least onto my surface. Now, the dough was quite easy to work with, so hopefully a little freezing won't make it difficult to work with. Let's keep our fingers crossed, right? All right, a little stickage to the plastic wrap, which tells me I just need to do a little, I'm just going to use my fingers actually to do a little sprinkling on top. And of course, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on my rolling pin. All right, there we go. Excellent. I'm really excited about the bonus content that I'm going to be doing during the bake. So a lot of you got some hints of it. If you were on social media, you saw. And I felt like since Valentine's Day was coming, I needed to kind of adorn myself as such. So I'm wearing my heart necklace, which being a teacher, you know I'm going to wear this when I go to school on Wednesday because my kiddos get a kick out of that. Let me take some of this extra flour off. 1 second. And let's see what you're all talking about. Going for snackage for the Ball game, yeah. So tell me what snacks you guys are enjoying. Cinnamon rolls with peanut butter frosting was your granny's specialty. I love that. Eugenia, that is I've never had them like that. That sounds divine. And you know what I love about it, which is why I love family recipes so much, is I love that your family had something that was unique and special, right? I just think that's what makes family recipes so wonderful, is we kind of have our own takes on things, which is awesome. Now, one thing we learned when I did the pecan rolls is not to worry too much about the total shape, although I will tell you my rectangle is definitely having a little bit of problems. So, and I also want to flip it because I don't want it to stick. There we go. Yeah, definitely having a little misshapen on my rectangle department here. And I just want this to go a little bit further, so just doing a little sprinkling. It's pretty good, but there's a couple of little tacky spots. Just get a little bit more on my... So that's why I'm wearing what I'm wearing. I tried to go for the cozy, sweet treat vibe with Valentine's Day approaching. All right, so just to show you that you just don't have to be perfect, it definitely isn't. So let me just show you what I got here. And I'll bring y'all around in a second. So this is a very imperfect rectangle. In fact, it's more like a blob, but it is rectangular in thought. But I promise you it will work out. So let me just rinse my hands, and I'm gonna bring the camera around so you can see the next steps in a minute, because I just realized I want to mix together what we're gonna spread in the middle. So a good cinnamon roll has a couple of very important components. One of them is the dough, and so we already talked about that. So start with a really good dough. One of the things that I think makes my grandma's dough so good, and I noticed this when I was researching the best Ooey-Gooey cinnamon rolls, is you need to make sure that there is definitely a good amount of butter in the dough, because that is part of what makes it delicious. And my grandma's dough does have that, which is awesome. The next component is making sure the filling that we're going to spread inside is also butter rich and delicious. And as I mentioned, when I did the research, they recommended softened butter, not melted butter. So I have some softened butter here. And we're also going to need some sugar, and we're going to need some cinnamon, because it is a cinnamon roll. So what I'm going to mix together, move this up a little bit, and get my sugar, is we're going to mix together some light brown sugar, and you could use dark brown, you could use regular white sugar, granulated sugar, but I do like the idea of using the light brown sugar or the dark brown, just to add some more flavor, adds more carameliness. And for those of you who saw the chocolate toffee saltines that I made for our Super Bowl party, which, by the way, I'm happy to say, they've gotten a lot lower. This was full. Now, granted, I made it, I think which day this week I made it, Thursday maybe, but look, there are not many left. Hubs and I have enjoyed ourselves, and I guarantee you by the end of the Super Bowl tonight, these will be gone. Yeah, he says he hasn't had any. We all know that that is about as true as me saying that I have on a orange sweater right now. Alrighty, so we are going to be mixing for our cinnamon rolls today. We're going to mix together a 1/3 cup brown sugar, and I'm going to be using light brown sugar, which I don't know what I just did with it. Oh, here it is. As well as 1 tablespoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter, softened. So I have my 1/4 cup right here. Oh, wait, I take that back. I'm not mixing with my butter. See, I get a little bit nervous on these live streams. I'm spreading that. So I'm going to stop myself there. I'm going to get my offset spatula, so I have that. I did not get that out. Eugenia, I am happy to say that I brought my most colorful accessory to use later today. I'm just going to give you that hint. And Archie, you might want to hide your eyes for that moment. Matthew, welcome. It's so good to have you on stream. And yes, Valentine's Day is Wednesday. Matthew, what's your favorite treat? Because we all love a good treat. In fact, Archie, Barb, and Eugenia, what's your favorite treat? Oh my goodness. And Eugenia, I love it. She said, I spent a lifetime avoiding Valentine's Day and any associated celebrations. Well, you'll just have to give me a little hall pass on this one today, Eugenia. You and Archie are like in the same camp. And you're making, oh my gosh, can you send some to me? Steak nachos and chips and dip. That sounds phenomenal. I usually use a mix of brown and white sugar. Absolutely, that sounds wonderful. And then Barb says, I love the small cracker version. Barb, to be honest, I don't think I'm gonna make them the other way again. As I mentioned, I used to make them years ago. It was one of the many cookies I made at the holidays at Christmas time and using the regular saltines. And those are delicious, don't get me wrong, but there's something about, and this, Barb, I want to explain better, because of how I divvied it, it actually made it was lighter, crispier, more addictive, which is a problem if you don't have like willpower, but I actually preferred them that way. I really liked them with the small crackers, but they would be good with both. And then, and I knew what you meant. Eugenia, you know what? I do typos all the time, so you are welcome here in good company. Yes, I will tell you, and I think I said this in the video I'd made, the mini saltines for Hubs and I, we get them regularly for our soups. And if we're being honest, we just like snacking on them. And if I'm being really honest, I have to hide them from Hubs so that he doesn't snack on the whole box. And he just glared at me. So, you know that's true. So back to this. I'm going to put a 1/3 cup of packed light brown sugar in here. And then Matthew said, talked about some yummy Valentine's Day meals, chocolate banana dip, banana pudding, banana pasta. I've never heard of banana pasta or banana ravioli and gratin. Well, Matthew, those are things I've not heard of. I can tell you like bananas though, which is awesome. But I do love a good banana pudding. That is, my nieces love banana pudding, and so my sister has made banana pudding a lot for them, through the years. In fact, I believe one of them even preferred it for her birthday because they didn't really like cake. So there's lots of good things we can do with bananas. And of course, nothing beats banana bread. So I have my 1/3 cup sugar, and then I'm gonna just get a tablespoon of cinnamon. And to me, and of course that's not gonna fit. Ugh. So we'll use my teaspoon. My teaspoon doesn't even fit. Oh my goodness. Y'all, why do they make these not fit these? So I gotta get I have those other ones. I kind of wanted to keep them all in a ring and make it easy, but it is not going to let me. I don't even know if this one's going to fit, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's not going to fit. I have a 1/2 tablespoon. How many times is Phil going to try to make the measuring spoon fit so she can mix together her filling? Aha, the 1/2 tablespoon one. So I'll need 2 of these. One of the things I noticed right away and this is the Preppy Kitchen that I got the filling and glaze idea from. One of the things I really liked in his recipe is there was a good ratio of cinnamon to sugar. In my opinion, and I know, Arch, you and I have had conversations here on stream about cinnamon is not for everyone. I mean, it's kind of like chocolate is not for everyone. I know in my head, I can't even imagine a world like that, but I would never dislike you for it because to each their own, and honestly, it leaves more cinnamon and chocolate for me. So, so then I'm just going to kind of put this together, pounce it around, and get this incorporated because this is what we're going to sprinkle on top of the butter after we spread it. There we go. And I lost my train of thought. I think I was talking about something and now it's kind of left me. Oh, I love oyster crackers too. Absolutely. That's a good question, Barbara. Archie, you need to answer that question that Barbara asked. Do you get treats? Oh, Arch. Well, if they could get treats to you, Archie, I bet you they would. I absolutely bet you they would. So I'm just kind of, it's a little harder mixing brown sugar with cinnamon than white sugar because you can just whisk it around, but I'm just kind of trying to break up that brown sugar and then mix it in. And I just think having this real concentration of cinnamon is going to bring out that flavor and make them absolutely delicious. All right, okay. So I think that is incorporated well enough. And now I'm gonna bring you all around so that you can see what happens next. All right, oops. So let's move this. I'm gonna keep this because we're gonna need that butter. I need my spatula, and we don't need these cups here. Let's get you all around so you can see what is happening here. Let me make you go lower first and bring you around. Let's see here, friends. All right. Let's get you in. All right, let's see here. I think that works. Let me just move this so I can see it. It's not blocking your way. There we go. Excellent. And you can see my little ring light there that helps us not have this come out too dark. Okay, so we are ready. Let me just see what everyone else was saying. Other treats, Matthew said, like Twix pie and Snickers pie. Oh, that would be delicious. And Eugenia, yes, I had never owned a half tablespoon until I got these from Amazon, and I love them. They're magnetic. They even, oh, that is something. By the way, those aren't my hair tweezers. I've used this actually, these tweezers for getting the bones out of salmon. You know how sometimes you get salmon and it's got those pin bones in it that are hard to get out? Tweezers work wonders. But this is a leveler, and it goes all the way to an 1/8 teaspoon. My only complaint is that this information is starting to wear off, and I know eventually I'm going to need to get like some sort of paint pen to put that on. But yeah, I love those. I like that they all do that. All right, so let's get some butter spread. So we're going to be doing, I guess we don't need this knife. I'm going to be putting on here I think it was 1/4 cup of unsalted butter. And this is actually Plugra. Now, I'm already realizing that the problem with room temperature unsalted butter is that it's still acting a bit not soft, if that makes sense. There we go. I just need to get a little warmth between my fingers. And anyways, what the fellow was saying on Preppy Kitchen is that the unsalted butter, what that does, not the unsalted butter, the room temperature butter, what that does is it enables it to kind of more adhere to the dough, and then you're able to kind of like let it gradually become this wonderful inside of your cinnamon roll. And I'm running out of my paper towels. 1 second, friends, have a greasy finger from that butter. So we're gonna try to do this. But it is winter time, so even though it's room temperature, it is not spreading the easiest. You can see that. So that's why I do these, friends. I do these because, you know, I want you to see what's really happening. And I'm just trying to imagine how I'm gonna get all this butter from end to end. I think we're gonna need to make the executive decision of using more butter. I don't know, because this is just not spreading. And I've had this out, actually that butter I've had out for a couple days. You know, this is stuff I keep out. I brought some new stuff out recently. So let me just try to get some of this spread. So funny, you see these videos and you think, oh, it's so easy, but then look right here. I have room temperature butter and it is just not spreading. And where we live in our place, because we've had some warm days, it is quite warm in here. In fact, fun fact, you guys are all gonna like absolutely die at this. We have our air on because it has been warm and then this place gets warm. So let's see. I'm just adding more butter because that is my executive decision. I'm doing it thin so that it'll spread more easily. There we go. And we're just going to have to do what we have to do. 1 second. All right. So I'll be using slightly more than 1/4 cup because mine was actually slightly less than 1/4 cup. So we probably are using more like 1/3 cup for this recipe right now, just if anyone is keeping track. But yeah, And I know that I didn't encounter this when I made the pecan rolls, so I am positive that I had, what do you call it, melted it. And I think I used a brush to get it. Yeah, this is, this is definitely a little more frustrating than I was expecting, because when you watch a video, it looks so easy peasy. So I don't know if they melted a little past room temperature or what. Well, that'll have to do. There we go, friends. All right, the next part we're going to do is we are going to add this delicious sugar and cinnamon. And we're going to bring it all around towards the edge. There we go. This is what makes, with the butter, this is what makes that ooey-gooey. And I'm dumping it all because I told you I want the ultimate ooey-gooey cinnamon rolls, right? Okay. There we go. Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do, and I'm actually going to start it this way, is we're going to start to roll. So to do that, we're just going to start getting the edge rolled in. It might stick a little bit because I was pushing down on it a bit with the spreading the butter, but we'll get it tucked. Just tuck and roll, tuck and roll, tuck and roll. Get it tucked and rolled. If it wants to untuck, let it know whose boss and tuck it back up. You know, the thing to remember when you're at this point is that this is has nothing to do with how it's going to look at the end. You know, it can be a little bit misshapen. It can be a little bit tricky because at the end you're going to be slicing these and putting them in the baking pan to bake off. Oh, we're a little, that's actually a little bit sticky there. So I'm going to get myself just a little bit of flour to help it not stick to my fingers. Here we go. Excellent. So now I'm going to bring this over here. Not the prettiest, but you know what? It still can be delicious. And it is a little tacky, so I'm just going to get a little bit. Let me see where more of my flour is. It's over on the other side. So let me grab a little bit of flour. I just don't want to have any stickage. There we go. There we go. I just don't want it sticking to the bottom. Awesome. Yeah. I think all the pushing with the butter just caused it to stick a bit. So there we have it. Next, we're going to use our unwaxed and unflavored dental floss to cut. And I'm going to be cutting it'll be about one, this is a short pan, so mine will be about, I think 1 inch would be my guess. So I'm going to just pull this out. Oh, and it's not pulling. Oh, whoopsie. Hate when that happens. Look what happened, friends. The whole shebang came out. Look at this mess. Look at that. Only with fill. Let me cut that off, the stuff that was on the floor. Get a fresh piece. It made it look so easy that it was just going to feed through here, but maybe I might have needed to do something. Maybe they wanted me to take it out. I might have not. I may not read the directions on there. By the way, if you're just joining us, we are making the ultimate cinnamon rolls, and then we're just going to go under, and we're going to just go across like that, and it should help make, look at that. See? It makes it so nice, and right away I will tell you that is a lot easier than the last one I did when I made the pecan rolls. So this is wonderful. I would do that again. Look how lovely. That is great. Okay. Whoops, it's getting a little stickage there though. I think remember I said it was a little sticky under there, so let me just get that under. And then we're going to put these in that pan. I'm going to put a little bit of cooking spray on that pan. Yeah, I think we're just sticky under here. That's what's going on. Let me get my flour. That's what's causing some of the issues, a little bit of misbehavior from our dough. But at the end of the day, it will still work out. It may not look pretty, but it will taste good. Yeah, just a little bit of stickage. And the other thing I'm thinking is that maybe I should not have taken the dough out to come to room temperature. I'm thinking that when I made the pecan rolls, we might have just taken it right from the fridge, and that might make it a little bit easier to work with. Because if you recall from my video, the dough was just exceedingly easy to work with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, but certainly the dental floss is making quick work of slicing. If it wasn't so sticky, it'd be even easier. We'll definitely use dental floss again. And I believe dental floss is also a good route to do if you're making, one thing I love are baked or fried goat cheese circles, not circles, like little cakes to put on a salad. And cakes is the wrong word. It's like fried goat cheese. They're little rounds. I guess rounds is the best word. And I love those. And they recommend that for slicing the goat cheese also. So there you go. All right, here we are. So let me get my, and then you always have a couple, the end ones that are a little misshapen. So let me rinse and get my pan sprayed with some cooking spray. And then we'll get these on. And I'm gonna spray this and move the camera so that y'all can see and catch up on the chat, see what everyone's discussing. So let me first do a little of that. You could, of course, butter it, which would probably be preferred, but I want to get these in the oven, so I'm going to start with this. All right, friends, let's get you back over here. There we go. Excellent, excellent. Still feel like it dips just a little bit. My camera is always a little bit off. There we are. That's good. All right. So let me put these in. There's usually, start these around the edges. Now these, oh, and by the way, these aren't going to go in right away. These are going to sit more to let them, I think, rise a little bit more, although I don't think the dough's gonna do much more than that. So maybe I'm just thinking out loud, friends, I might just go ahead and get them in. I think I did make a little error as I'm looking about that might affect my ultimate cinnamon rolls is now in thinking about it, I shouldn't have taken them out of the fridge. I was worried since it had come from frozen because I feel like, then they rose after we rolled them. So if I did it again, friends, I would use the cold dough, then roll them, and then let them sit out for an hour. But I think since this is fully room temperature, and I don't think the dough is going to do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven. So this is what they look like. So see, even Phil makes mistakes, and all you that are watching know that full well. You've seen my live streams. But the good news is they can still be delicious. So there we go. All right. So those are going to go in. And those are going to go in for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to check them at 20. There we go. All righty. So let's get rid of this cinnamon, and let's do a quick wipe so we can get ready for making our glaze. And I want to check on the chat, and we will need our butter for the glaze. So let me keep that close. We won't need that anymore. Put this over there. All right, let's just get this wiped up and see what you all are talking about. Okay. There we go. Excellent. Okay. All cleaned up. So let's see. Let me just dry it a little bit. And it looks like more people came on. Joanne, welcome. It's so good to see you. Oh, I wish I could see you, but so good to have you join our stream. And Matthew said, I'm going back to the beginning, cinnamon in light quantities is okay, but extreme quantities is a devil's work. And wasn't it the craziest thing when young people were doing that whole cinnamon challenge, like I don't know if it was a couple years ago, I was like, you're taking a good spice and you're bringing it into the Badlands. So chocolate mousse, Eugenia, I agree. Chocolate mousse is amazing. And oh my gosh, Matthew, you have so much yummy food that you're talking about. Baked apples, apricots, frosted biscuits are the wonderful Valentine's Day treats. Matthew, what is the thing that you're going to be making this year for Valentine's Day? You'll have to let me know. Of all those things you've talked about, what is the thing that either you're making or buying or giving? And Matthew said 32 away until you get 1,000 subscribers. I know, and I'm actually glad you brought that up, Matthew, because once I get to 1,000, I am going to do another long stream. So obviously I can't plan it because I don't know when that's going to happen. It's going to happen, and then I'm going to have to figure out, in my schedule when it works. But I'm not going to go past 5 hours, but I will commit to another 5-hour crazy stream. It was a lot of fun. It enables me to actually do a bunch of different things that I've been wanting to do, but didn't really have a set aside in my normal monthly streams or videos. So yes, so once I get to 1,000 friends, 5-hour stream, be here, join me in the madness, and know that you'll come away laughing and with a lot of good food ideas and drink ideas. And Eugenia says it helps to whip the butter. Oh my gosh. So Virginia, when I first, thank you for that tip, friend. I wish I would have known that. That is a great tip. I should have whipped the butter. So friends, if you're doing this, whip the butter. When I first read that, Eugenia, I thought you said whip the butler. And you know how Archie calls my husband the butler? I was like, oh my goodness, Eugenia's getting salty. But the butter, that's a great idea. I will do that next time. And extra bit of butter is better, always, always. And yeah, I would agree. Room temperature usually, in my house is not, I do not like a really warm house. So maybe in the summer months is when it gets warmer, because if we keep it at I think we have it set right now at 70, just because that's what it was going past 71. And with my stream, I knew the oven be on and I'd get warm. So we turned it down to 70, but in the summer, I think keep it at 74, because otherwise our bills would be extreme. Let's see. Off to the grocery store. Eugenia, thanks for popping in and good to see you. And Joanne again, so glad you hopped on. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, DS, wonderful to have you here. Wait, the underwear? I'm not sure that I think I missed something here, DS and Archie, with the underwear comment. Oh my gosh. Nothing like a warm cinnamon roll. I agree. And Archie had to pop out. He said, DS, I've just seen your comment and I'm not standing next to you ever. I've learned not to stand next to handsome people. They make me you both are so funny. And Matthew, 1747, that's wonderful. Congratulations, Matthew. Good for you, my friend. And Archie, of course, I knew you were going to take the butler thing, whip the butler, and you were going to run with it. So I probably should have not said what I was thinking. So friends, let's get this glaze made, because we know as good as the dough is, and then as delicious as the inner part is, it all comes down to the glaze, right? The glaze must be good as well. So let's take a look at that glaze. And we are going, this is what I was talking about. Eugenia's not here to support me, but we needed a whisk for this. I could use a blender, but I'm not going to because it's loud and my blender does not like me. We're not talking the big mixer, just my hand blender. So I'm going to just work it out with a whisk. So in our yummy, delicious glaze is going to be a key ingredient, and that is softened cream cheese. So softened cream cheese, first of all, makes a phenomenal glaze, and you could just do a simple, confectionery sugar glaze, vanilla glaze, but the cream cheese to me is where it's at. The cream cheese is what brings it to the next level. We're also going to need some vanilla, some powdered sugar, or confectioner's sugar. I'm not sure what everyone calls it. I think it can be called either. I should refer to it as powdered sugar. And let's look at our amounts. So we are going to, in here, have 4 ounces of cream cheese, which is already softened. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that whipped first, just so it'll incorporate with the other ingredients a little better. That's what I do usually when I'm working with anything with cream cheese. So I'm just going to get that going first. And I think I might need a different attachment to do that. I'm going to use, let me see here. I'm going to use a fork. Nice and sturdy. There we go. It can help me get it spread out. And this is what I should have done with the butter, honestly, to make it more spreadable. So that makes a bit of a noise. But the thing with the fork is that the fork is so much stiffer. So it really enables you to work at it hard. And there we go. So that has been softened up even more. And then to that, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. So I've got my butter, get 2 tablespoons. And this is softened as well. Whoops. You get that in there. And I think I'm going to get my fork with that a little bit too, seeing as the butter was not behaving earlier. So we'll make sure. So I'm just working it into the cream cheese with the fork. And actually, I'm going to save this for later because this is going to have to wait till we get some liquids in there. There we go. And then to that, we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla, as well as a pinch of salt. I did have my salt there. Let me get my salt. And we're going to need some milk. And I've got whole milk. The pinch of salt helps enable that it's not too cloyingly sweet. And Ina Garden is a big proponent of this. By the way, did anyone catch the social media thing with Ina talking about what she was going to be doing with Jeffrey? They were actually going to be celebrating Valentine's Day with other couples, have other couples there to celebrate, which I thought was lovely. So I'm going to actually add my liquid now. No, I'm not going to add my liquid now. I'm going to wait. Change my mind. Let me get my vanilla in and my sugar. So my vanilla is going to be a teaspoon, only a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have vanilla paste, my favorite vanilla paste. So I'm going to get that in. Whoop, a little too much. There we go. Got my vanilla paste. I'm actually going to work that in too. I love the vanilla paste because, I don't know if you can see, but it has all of these specks. You can see like there's specks of the vanilla bean in there, of the seeds. I love that. And that adds a little bit of liquid, which is why I wanted to make sure and wait on my milk. Because that, using a paste, and see now I can use my whisk. Using a paste gives it a little bit of liquidness. So I have to keep that in mind when I'm adding everything else. And then we're also going to be adding 2 cups of powdered sugar. So let's get those in. I'm actually going to use my 1/2 cup measure. It's just going to make it easier. And since we're not baking this, I don't have to be as precise. There we go. Here we go. Excellent. Put that away. And I think we're going to need my fork back. Get that back out. Let me just get this off. There we go. So DS, what are you and Ruby doing for Valentine's Day? Do you get a card? Do you not celebrate? Not everyone celebrates. I know it's a bit of a sore subject here, but I do love to find out what everyone else does. So now when you first do this, because we have not added the liquid, you can see it's very dry. So I just want to start by adding my liquid, and we're going to be adding 1 to 2 tablespoons. So since I already have a 1/2 tablespoon, I'm going to start with, I'll start with 1, because I know I'll need 1. But I definitely wanted to get my vanilla paste in there because that does have a liquidy component to it, and I knew was going to inform. So right now with adding the vanilla paste, which I added, and with adding the milk, you can see that it is quite thick. So I actually don't want it that much thinner than this, but I want it a little thinner than this. So I'm going to add just a smidge. I'm actually not going to do it over top because in case I run over, I want it to run over in the sink. So I'm going to add, I would say this is probably more like a teaspoon in there. And then I get my whisk back involved. The fork, I'm telling you, works quite well. But let's see, because I have a lot of yumminess on that whisk. Let me see if I can get that in there. and then see what Archie's saying about all this, because I'm sure he is having his day. And it's giving you a good workout. Ooh, this is nice. So, now, y'all, you can, it's up to you how thick or thin you want this. The thing I will tell you is as soon as we put this on something warm, it's going to get a little thinner. So I might add just a smidge more of the milk, maybe another teaspoon, but other than that, I'm pretty good. Okay, let's get that in. And I think that'll be the right consistency. But if you want it thicker, keep it thicker. If you want it thinner, keep it thinner. That's the wonderful thing about cooking, is we get to decide that, right? That to me is perfect. But we all can decide. Because I want it ooey-gooey, I don't want all of my icing to just run off. I want it to be delicious. And now we got to taste it. Let's see. In fact, I'm surprised Hubs isn't here, that he wouldn't want to steal a taste. Oh, I'm telling you, the cream cheese is what makes it amazing. I'm just taking a peek at my cinnamon rolls. Oh, they are expanding. They are getting yummy. And you can see the darkness of the cinnamon. Oh, they look so good. Now, I learned a little hack when I was scrolling through food videos. And if you want to put on, he heard me throw some shade, so he's made his way over to potentially taste the icing. But you might want to put on your microphone. He's feeling a little shy today. Hey, bud. No one can hear that you said that because you don't have your microphone on, sweetie. Does it meet your expectations?
That's yummy.
Isn't that yummy? Don't you dare double dip that spoon. I'm just saying. So anyways, the hack for cinnamon rolls, which I'd never thought of, that I thought was a great hack, is one way. You know how if anyone that's made cinnamon rolls, when you put the icing on right after they come out of the oven, it does sometimes feel like it all runs off, right? And so then you feel like there's not a lot of icing that stays near the top, on the top of your cinnamon roll. So what this creator recommended, and she showed in her video how it happened, is she recommends when they come out of the oven, put some on. So spread some of it on and, kind of like maybe half of this spread across, or maybe not half, but just an amount. And then, so that will start to seep the warmth and all that. Then wait 5 minutes, then spread the rest. And that's what she recommended to do to help make your best dressed cinnamon roll. So we're going to try that today. So I'm actually going to take this out because I'm going to want to use my offset spatula when that comes. I'm going to take one more little taste. That is delicious. All right. There we go. And I'm also going to get my buttered offset spatula washed up. So there is bonus content that we are going to be having today. There's 5 more minutes left on our cinnamon rolls, and plus they will have to be have the icing spread on, then they're going to have to wait 5 minutes before we get more icing and taste them. So the other bonus content I had was to help satisfy anyone's sweet tooth. And then the other one was actually in honor of my friend Pa, who has come on the live stream. She was going to try to come on today, but I'm not sure if that's going to work out for her or not. But she is a great supporter. Oops, all that stuff came off. She's a great supporter of this live stream, and she loves to have a glass of wine or a cocktail. So I was going to make a cocktail. So I'll be doing that in just a minute. But I wanted to show you a little hack, which is great for something easy, sweet, and actually I might even say it's a little healthy. And that is the combination of fruit and chocolate. Now, if you don't like chocolate, I'm sorry. I feel badly for you because to me it's one of my great joys. So I feel badly about that. But you could always use white chocolate, which isn't really chocolate anyway, which just gives you sweetness. But if you like chocolate, you could use regular chocolate chips. I really like, as you all know, Ghirardelli brand. There are more expensive brands that you could spend your money on. But for me, I get great bang for my buck using Ghirardelli. I think it's more elevated than the normal Nestle brand and store brands, but not as expensive as the premium brands. And it all comes down to what you like. I actually really like what they do with their chocolate. I like the flavor, I like the texture, all those things. I do get their semi-sweet, as I showed you, but I actually really like their bittersweet. This one is 60% bittersweet. They have a wonderful flavor. They're actually a slightly different shape. In fact, let me get the regular ones out so you can see. And I actually really like that shape. So if you're making chocolate chip cookies, what's cool is then you have both shapes, with your, let me get some of these out. You have both those shapes that you can use with your cookies, which kind of makes them nice and interesting. So let me show you. So here's a normal, I'll put them on the, whoops, there it came on the plate. I'll put them on the plate. So these are the 60%, and these are the normal chips. So you can see they're larger, and they have just a more intense chocolate flavor. So these are the 60%, and these are the regular semi-sweet. Both are delicious, but I do like the 60%. And I like using the 60% for this little easy trick for something sweet at any time, but also Valentine's Day. Red is an iconic color for Valentine's Day. If you wanted to spend the time, one of my favorite things to eat for a sweet treat with chocolate is chocolate-covered strawberries. I love chocolate-covered strawberries. But if you don't have the time, or you feel like you're going to struggle tempering the chocolate and melting it and doing all that, then an easy thing to do that's also very delicious is you just stuff a raspberry with a chocolate chip. So of course for smaller ones, the semi-sweet would work good. You would actually put 2 in, because why would you want to just stuff it with 1? And it gives you a little chocolate hit inside your raspberry. But frankly, with some of these bigger ones, you could put 2 of these 60%, which that makes it even better. And so look at this cute little treat. And you can arrange them cute on a plate and just enjoy the chocolate with the fruit. And what's great about raspberries, while strawberries, of course, are good for you, any fruit is good for you, raspberries are known to have so many different components. They're almost a superfood, from their high fiber to, I think, some of the antioxidants and things that they also have. So they're actually considered a really, really healthy fruit out there. In fact, what you should really do is eat a lot of raspberries just any time without the chocolate. But it's Valentine's Day coming up, and sometimes you just need a little chocolate. So I'm going to test it. Delicious and easy. I mean, this took 2 minutes. Gotta have another. So good. So these would also be really good drenched in chocolate and melted chocolate, and I will have to do that another time. But what I wanted to show was something super approachable, that's healthy, that's fun, that's festive, has the red color, and yeah, just make it approachable for y'all. So this is a nice little hack. And again, I'm not Martha Stewart. I'm not showing you a cute little way to arrange them, but you can find influencers, I'm sure, that will do that hack for you. But I just think these are adorable and a great way to enjoy a sweet treat. So that's my one thing to share with you. Eat more raspberries is what I say. They're supposed to be so good for you, and they're delicious. And it sounds like my cinnamon rolls are done. So let me take a peek. Actually, I'm going to bring you over to take a peek. Let's take a peek together. Let's see here. Now you know you're going to get fogged up. So let me move you back a little to see how they're doing. Ooh, it's a little fog. Let's bring it out a second, see how they look. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Gorgeous. Browned, bubbly. See back there, that bubbliness? That's from the cinnamon sugar coming together with that butter. Delicious. I'm just going to give them one more minute. I think they're almost ready. Just going to give them, look up here. I'm going to give them one more. Turn it off. Yes, I know. Okay, and let's bring you all back. And then we'll bring them out and we will get them their initial ice, a thin little initial ice layer. And then we will give them their final ice. So I'm going to get myself ready because when we're waiting, I'm going to make you a cocktail. So let me tell you about that cocktail. Well, if you have been living under a rock, you don't know that the Super Bowl is today. And I know for those of us joining, like Archie from England, I don't know if you're hearing the buzz because it is like all anyone's talking about, which gets a little tiresome, especially considering the Eagles are not in it, which makes me a little sad. So there's that. But I'm not going to go too far into it, but there's a certain female pop star that has been there's been controversy, let's just say. And I like to stay out of controversy, but as a woman, it makes me sad that people can be so mean. And it's so funny because she made a song about that, why you have to be so mean. And people just can be mean. I don't know if it's that people don't like seeing success or people don't like seeing women successful, but I have never heard from any other of her, not colleagues, but peers, say anything bad about her. And they've only said how much of a hard worker she is, how she blows them away at her drive, and how much her fans mean to her, and the love she has for people. And I've heard from other people that are her peers, or not even her peers, say how generous she is. So it just makes me a little sad that she gets picked on. But I think she's wonderful, and I think that she's a great role model out there for our young girls about the power of your passion and being your true authentic self and spreading strength and joy to women. So I'm off of my soapbox. I wanted to make a cocktail in her honor. So let me get out our, where did I put that? Oh, here it is. Let me get out our cinnamon rolls and get them initially dressed. I mean, she is an American success story. And I actually knew her didn't know her, of course, but I enjoyed her when she was a country star, when she was so young. And I enjoyed her country album. I actually saw her open up for Keith Urban, and she was phenomenal. So anyways, just want to support her. So I have a little cocktail that's supposed to be her favorite, and that's what I'm going to share with you. So if you're going to Super Bowl party, you could say, I've got a Taylor Swift cocktail that we should all be having. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my icing and kind of drizzle some of it on and spread it around, and then we'll save the rest to do after we've made the cocktail, and then we will try it. So again, this doesn't have to be a big layer. I need my, there we go, we're just spreading so it can all go down the nooks and crevices, and then we will put one more layer on right before we serve.
Smells horrible in here.
Did you ask if the little is, because remember he might stop by? Do you know if he's going to stop by anytime sooner or later?
I don't know.
You don't know? Remember he mentioned that? The little's birthday is coming up tomorrow. So I told him, I said, I'm making homemade cinnamon rolls, and that definitely piqued his interest. All right, so just getting a layer here.
Did you hear my sarcastic comment?
That they smell awful?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure my neighbors are hating me because when you live in an apartment building and someone's cooking something yummy, that's all you smell. And then you're like, why am I not having something yummy, right? All right. Okay, so there we go. So let me show you what we got so far. It's gonna be hot, there we go. So the first layer is on. We're gonna let it just sit and cool so we don't burn ourselves. So Hubs doesn't burn himself. And now let's make a cocktail. All right, so the cocktail is called the French Blonde. And I wish I was a French blonde. No, I'm enamored with France, and I cannot wait till someday we go to France. So I was all over this cocktail. And let me show you what it involves. So for the French blonde, we are going to be using Archie. We're using gin. DS, we're using elderflower, which I know you like Saint Germain. And I think, Barbara, is that one that you like too? I'm trying to remember. And then this is something I've never purchased before called Lillet. Lillet is a fortified wine. It's from France, which is what makes it the French blonde. Yes, it says French aperitif wine. So now I got to figure out other ways I can use that. We're also going to need some bitters. Now that calls for lemon bitters. I do not have lemon bitters. I'm probably not going to buy lemon bitters, but I have orange bitters. It's citrus, so it will have to do. And that's kind of how you have to look at things sometimes, right? Like, don't get too overcomplicated. And then I knew for this recipe it needed a let, so I might even be saying that wrong, so my apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But we are going to mix this up and make a great cocktail. And we're missing one important thing, the fruit component, and that is grapefruit juice. Let me get the grapefruit juice out. Right there, and I'm going to get this filled with ice because this is a shaken cocktail, and I'm going to put it in a coupe. There we go.
You just making one?
I am.
It's not very nice.
I know. I'm not very nice, but I'm a French blonde, and I think French blonde might not be very nice, so.
You're not French.
I know. I probably know more French than you do, though, right? So in here, we're going to put 2 ounces of the Lillet. There we go. And this will need to go in to be chilled because once I open it.
Good, because we have so much space left in our refrigerator.
I actually took stuff out yesterday. See, he only notices when things are full. He doesn't notice when I take things away. I get no credit for when I clean things up.
37 salad
I
dressings
take
in
things
there.
away. Actually, we don't have that many salad dressings because I make most of mine. We have maybe 2.
Right.
A Russian and a we have that ginger one that I don't like, which that is I agree that's silly. I should get that one out. And then we're going to do 2 ounces of grapefruit juice and 1 ounce of gin. So let me get the grapefruit juice. So same, and I have a pink grapefruit juice, which to me suits me just fine to have pink grapefruit juice. And I've been neglecting the chat, so chat I will get to you in just a second. I'm feeling a little rushed by the cinnamon rolls, and I want to make sure I can do that. And, oh, and I forgot to turn off the oven. Let's get that heat off. All right. And then 1 ounce of gin. Get that in with using our new little measure that we got at the holidays in the stocking. Okay. And then 1/2 ounce of elderflower. 1/2 ounce of elderflower. It's going to give us a little sweetness. And I can't read anything. I think, oh, there's 1/2 ounce. Okay, 1/2 ounce of elderflower.
What's the Lillet?
There we go. I don't know. Will you put it in a little shot glass so we can taste it? That would be lovely. Because I will share this with you. And then we're going to do 3 dashes of lemon bitters. I'm using orange bitters, as I told you. Oops. I might need your little strength on this, too. Let me just try this first. Yeah. There, nope, got it. Yes, if you can get a little shot glass and pour some of that in. It's not cold. I know it's supposed to be cold, but at least we could taste it. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was maybe 5. So, whoops. I was watching the kitchen yesterday, as I always do, as he can attest, and they were talking about how bitters is like the salt and pepper of cocktails. That they add that little something that cocktails need. And you give it a shake, a nice good shake. All right, so now, and then double strain. Now, if you don't mind the ice, you don't have to double strain, but we're going to double strain. Make it fancy.
Before you taste that, taste
And
it.
it's a little bit pink, which I love since we used pink grapefruit juice.
Is it you want to put this in the fridge? You good?
Sure, yeah. So this has my name over it in so many ways. All right, so he instructed me I must taste the Lillet by itself first. Oh, wow, that's really good. Like, I could drink that over ice.
Yeah.
Well, it would be chilled, so I wouldn't have to worry about drinking it over ice. That would be great to macerate strawberries.
To what?
Macerate strawberries. Oh, look at him with the with the bad mind. My foodies, you know what I mean when I say macerate strawberries. It's when you cut them up and you mix them with some sugar or something sugary to kind of help them release their juices and make a really yummy concoction to put over ice cream. And he has his mind in the gutter. We are not surprised though, are we? All right, we need to try the French Blonde. So apparently this is a favorite of Taylor Swift. I did a lot of research for that and for the chocolate saltine. No, the chocolate toffee saltine, which I realized had to be like what I used to make at Christmas time. Look at this. I want to show you though. Look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? I love it. It's so pretty. Ooh. Oh, that's really good. Totally balanced. That is really, really good. Also, by the way, could be used, you could make the core and then add sparkling water to make it a spritz, or a Prosecco or another sparkling wine to make it a spritz. I'm going to take another sip. Can I have your phone? I want to take it. Well, no, because it's going to get too long. I'm going to take a picture first. I'm going to make him wait. Look, now he wants. I've been slaving away in here in the kitchen, and now he's sad because I want to get a picture first, and I want to get a picture of the cinnamon rolls. Which, by the way, our icing is holding up. So I think our icing is actually going to be fine. Will you please go say hello to our friends while I take a picture? It's being a little grumpy.
I don't know where my
Oh, so you're not. I thought you already put it on. You were just...
Oh, there it is.
Now you
find
may
mine.
have a sip. Thank you for being so patient. And I'm going to bring this over. Oh, see, asbestos hands. I can actually handle that,
Is that warm?
It is quite warm. But you know what? When you've been handling as many things as I have, you just kind of get used to it. And I know my foodie friends can attest to that.
So is it always made with grapefruit?
It's just what the cocktail's called. So I can't answer that, actually.
So it is made with grapefruit juice.
It is?
Okay.
What was the worry or question?
No. It's just it's kind of grapefruit forward, I think, but it's good.
I think that's
It's
the
tasty.
point. Kind of like a Paloma is grapefruit forward, and that's the point of it, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
I think it was very tasty.
So what were the?
It was very
there
refreshing.
it is. 2 ounce Lillet Blanc, 2 ounce grapefruit, 1 ounce gin. I could probably go for more gin.
It's meant to be a light drink. It's not meant to put one over. It's not meant to make the wife, poor thing, like collapse after a cocktail, which is part of the reason that it's nice, is it's not like this heavy one. But think about it. I mean, the only thing strong in there is the gin, but there's alcohol in the elderflower, there's alcohol in the Lillet, but it's light. It's not, we don't always need to have that stiff drink. I think it's delightful. I totally recommend this. I was taking a chance buying Lillet, which I'd never had, knowing that I was going to now need to find other things to use, and tasting it. I mean, it is really, it's delicious. It is delicious, and I'm not even, like, it's not like a wine you have with a meal, but it's kind of fortified, like sherry or vermouth, you know, sweet vermouth drive. It has a little something to it, but I love it. So okay, now I've been neglecting the chat, so let me see what y'all are talking about. So I am so sorry. My son is going to yell at me now because he's going to say, Mom, you got to pay attention. So y'all got to forgive me. And we will taste these cinnamon rolls soon, but let me not neglect any longer. All right, here. And yes, I knew you'd like Saint Germain. I knew that was going to get your attention. So Archie says, I'm a reluctant Swiftie, Phil. She's been trying to get me on a date for years. She's always texting me. Oh my gosh, you're hysterical. Cinnamon and gin, yeah, a new combination, right? Right, Archie? Cinnamon and gin. And Archie predicts you'll be wearing the gin bottle in a minute.
Yeah, probably.
And it said only, oh, I did not know this. Did you read this, hun? It says from DS, fun bar fact, only drinks with acidity are shaken. Non-acidic are stirred. Did not know that.
Wait, say that again?
DS said that only acidic drinks, like we had acid with the grapefruit juice, are shaken. Non-acidic drinks are stirred. And if you think about it, when I have my favorite Negroni Speatos, which have Campari, help me, sweet vermouth, and then I add some Prosecco. That's the recipe. The Campari and the sweet vermouth you stir. You don't shake. And DS says hi, Andy.
Hello, DS.
And yes, I agree, Archie. I'm so glad he's here on the stream with us. I really appreciate it. We've missed you. We've missed you so much. And then DS said, I woke up grumpy this morning. She went back to sleep. Oh, no. Oh, you have some making up to do, my friend. You've got to make it right with Ruby. All right. So let's try these cinnamon rolls. Let me move this back. Oh, and by the way, coming up, a couple of housekeeping things. And by the way, I said by the way twice. I'm going to put a little bit more on, but this, I don't know if maybe the influencer was talking about certain icings that don't have cream cheese. But cream cheese, one of the reasons I like it is it clings more. So I am going to put a little bit more on here. But I think we actually have a good amount, and then we'll save a little bit to put on individually, which I think would be really nice. So I'm just going to get these in the corner a little bit. Make sure we get some corner drippage, because you need that corner drippage. Like, that's important. No roll left behind, you know. But I'm really pleased how these look. And I don't know if Hubs is going to get a bite, because he went back to sit down, and only people that are standing and participating in the stream can have a bite. And I know my friends here that are foodies would wish they could have a bite. And, you know, and for Hub's sake, he's got to know that I'm also in charge of all the food this evening. Speaking of which, I will show that to one of the things to you. I'm going to be making, in honor of the Super Bowl, I'm making Kansas City barbecue wings. So I don't have a barbecue, so that's the main problem. But you know me, I'm going to do it in my air fryer. So here are my wings dry brining for tonight. I will post pictures on social media. You know I will. And I heard about this place in Kansas City called Jack's Stack. And it's supposed to be a great restaurant. He's known for his hot wings. So I'm going to be making his recipe of Jack's Stack barbecue Kansas City hot wings. And I will let you know how they are. Let you know if it's a recipe worth doing.
You kind of showed your hand. You're rooting for the Chiefs because of
it's the
Taylor Swift stuff.
And did you want to say why? Because I've told you why. He's acting like he doesn't know why. Why was I going to root for Kansas City, even though they beat us last year, and I'm a little sore about that?
Jason Kelce.
Because of Jason Kelce. We are huge fans of Jason Kelce, and his brother is playing, and I get it. I get if my sister we were in opposing teams, and then I'm out of the running and she is, I'd be full support for my sister. So I get it. And that's what families are all about. But coming up, my stream on Friday is going to have to be canceled because it's a takeout try or buy. And it's one I definitely wanted Hubs to be there for. And he has an event. So I do not know when it's going to be rescheduled yet, but it will be rescheduled, I promise you. So just a little heads up about that. The one on Friday is canceled.
Where were you going to go?
Korea to Korea. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. It's like I'm going to wait to promote that, but that will be a great one. I've heard great things. We actually had a taco of theirs. Run away a second. We had a taco of theirs at that festival on 2nd Street Festival.
I was there.
But you didn't seem to remember because you asked who were they.
Can we have one?
No, because I'm telling them about the schedule.
Okay.
Help me, friends. What do I do with this? I cook. I make these yummy things. But we're going to be eating them in a minute, babe. And he's kind of like when you think of animals exerting their dominance. He's roaming around showing his displeasure. So he just sat back down on the couch because that's how he rolls. Anywho, Archie's, my homage to Archie is coming up on Monday, though. I have Monday off, so I'm going to be starting the stream at 3 o'clock and making a very disgruntled Hubs dinner that night. And it's going to be one of Archie's pies, one of his famous pies. So Archie is going to obviously, and hopefully, I think he said he was going to try to come on to be able to help me out if I had any questions. I haven't chosen which pie yet. I'm really torn. But I am doing that on Monday. So you don't want to miss Monday's stream. And that date, by the way, is, let me find it, I wrote it down, is the 19th of February. So Monday, the 19th of February, starting at 3 p.m. So that's coming up. And that's it. So you ready? Are you ready to try it, babe?
Sure.
I'm ready to try it. I don't think he's ready anymore to try it. So let's get these tried. Let me show you how just one looks. Get my little spatula. All right. This one looks delightful.
Just so you know, there's only 3 hours and 41 minutes of the pregame left.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna miss it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a little, there you go. Did you get forks?
No.
That's yours.
We're having our separate ones?
Why not?
Yeah, that's good.
Well, that's true. I'm only going to give you one bite because you're being mean. I feel so badly for this fella. You know, his life is so hard. Right, babe?
What she doesn't know is that I was in folding laundry when she was cooking.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
See, I do think.
Do you want a cookie for that or a cinnamon roll? All right, let's go in. Fully dressed. Fully dressed.
Tender.
Tender. Oh. Oh my goodness.
Those are very good.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow. Well, they're decadent. I'm very happy with the cinnamon swirl. It's very dark and flavorful.
It is.
The only thing I would like. Wait. I just need to have them right. These just, they suck. They're terrible. The only thing I would do is okay, so let me talk with y'all about this. I wanted goo here. You know what I mean? Look how dry that pan is. I wanted goo there. I wanted the stuff from the middle of the rolls to kind of come down and kind of make this gooey bottom. And you know where I'm talking about, like Cinnabon. Because there's so many components of Cinnabon. There's the dough, there's the swirl, there's the glaze, but then there's the goo on the bottom. So what I was kind of thinking.
But don't you think it like got all sucked up into the roll? That's what I mean. They're so tender.
That's my grandma's dough. My grandma's dough is so tender.
I don't miss that at all.
The dough is tender. My grandma's dough. My gosh. If there's one thing you leave with today, is when you make a sweet roll, use her dough. So good. I do think the dough is good from being frozen, but I do think and this is no surprise, fresh dough is always the best, right? But certainly freeze it because it's delicious. But there's something when you do it fresh that I think is just above and beyond. I just would like it to be gooey. So one of the things I was thinking about trying, I didn't want to try it today because I kind of wanted to give this one recipe idea with the insides and the glaze from Preppy Kitchen a try, was like, should I just put some butter, cinnamon, sugar on the bottom? And that way it sits in it too. I don't know. That was kind of what I was thinking. So I think the next time I make them, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try that because I kind of like, if I'm going to make cinnamon rolls, I do not make this often. I know it seems like I make all this treat food all the time, but we really don't. Like, I bet you cinnamon rolls, the last time I made it was a couple Easters ago.
Yeah, it's been a long
And
time.
it wasn't my grandma's recipe. It was just another recipe, and they were delicious. But so we don't do things like this all the time, as I want it to be really, really good. So that's kind of what my thinking is. I don't know if you guys think. Yes, that's what DS said. Yes. Oh, and I do. I love the middle of it too, DS. He said sprinkle sugar in the pan. So just sugar, DS, or sugar with some of the butter as well? That's what I'm wondering. But that's it. So friends, absolutely delicious. And again, the big takeaway, the butter rings that my grandma makes. They are so good. But I'm telling you, This cocktail, it is refreshing and delicious. I like this. I'm gonna make this for my nieces. I think they will love this because they love grapefruit.
Yeah.
Absolutely delicious.
That's
And I
good.
like that it's not too heavy. I like that it's not this big alcohol hit. I like it's a, what do they say, ABV? A lower ABV, right? Alcohol, blood volume, or not blood, they say ABV. They talk about with beer and all that, like the volume of how potent an alcoholic drink is. I like that this one's lighter. I think that's actually a positive thing. But friends, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy watching the Super Bowl. Thank you, Barbara, Matthew, Archie, DS, Eugenia. I said Barbara. Thank you, Ruby, too, for saying hi. Joanne, thank you, Joanne, for popping on. I think that's everybody. Oh, Johnny Thunders. Oh, my gosh. Hey, Chris. I missed you. I'm so sorry, Chris, that I missed your hello, but hello to you as well. And hopefully I got everybody else. But thank you so much for popping on. Thank you for those that are watching from afar. And again, the next time I stream, I'll be making one of Chef Archie's famous pies, and that'll be on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the food.
Next Monday.
This coming Monday. Oh yeah, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. A week from tomorrow, which is, as I mentioned, the 19th. For one of Chef Archie's famous pies. And enjoy the Super Bowl, enjoy the Super Bowl food and the halftime show. And until we eat again, bye friends.
Bye.